One of the lines from Catch-22 that has stayed with me the longest is near the beginning of the novel, and something's happening to Yossarian, and he says, "But where are the Snowdens of yesteryear? But where are the Snowdens of yesteryear?" So I was thinking, at first I just found this funny and kind of absurd, like what is he saying? And then I thought about it, and I think there's some symbolic value here. So this video is going to be analyzing that sentence. It comes from a changed version of a line from a French poem, which talks about all the women of history, of like Cleopatra and of Joan of Arc, and how they've died and disappeared, and their looks and their accomplishments have gone forever. I can't speak French for the title, but in the translated version, it says, "But where are the snows of yesteryear?" And that is a line repeated throughout the poem, like, where are the snows of yesteryear? They're gone. Where are these women and these people in history? Well, they're gone. They're all gone. And yeah, so that's the summary of that poem. And so what does this mean for Catch-22? When Yossarian says, "But where are the Snowdens of yesteryear?" Well, Snowden refers to not Edward Snowden, but one of the main characters of the book, and he dies in the climax in one of the flashbacks. Snowden teaches Yossarian by dying that man is just matter. What does that mean? Man is matter. Well, what am I? I'm just matter. The only thing that separates me from this wall, the only thing that separates me from the soil from which I came, the only thing that separates me from water or food or the things that I eat is the fact that I have a soul, the fact that I can think, the fact that I have a consciousness. This had a really big effect on me when I read this book in the 8th grade, and it had a huge effect on Yossarian in the novel. And this is one of the main themes of the entire book. And this is what inspires him to not die. He wants to live forever. He wants to, because he wants to keep his soul. He doesn't want to have a large, descendancy. He doesn't want to have a big reputation following him. He doesn't want to immortalize himself in that way. He doesn't care if he's not known at all. He just wants to literally be immortal, to preserve his soul, to stay human, to stay a man, to stay alive. This symbolic immortalism means nothing to him. So because Yossarian has such a care for human life, he doesn't want he first cares about his life, but he doesn't want his friends to die either. He doesn't want anyone to die. So when he's saying, "Where are the Snowdens of yesteryear?" He's saying, where are these people? Where are the Snowdens who died, who would have taught other men, other soldiers, that man is matter? Where are these people? Where have they gone? Where have their messages gone? Why in Rome or medieval times, when they had all these wars, did no one realize we need to preserve our souls? We need to preserve our humanity. We need to preserve our life. He's asking this question, I think, genuinely, because he realizes, in all the wars, we've had fights and we haven't learned anything from them. We achieved more land, but what does that matter? This is sort of a silly way of looking at history, but it's the way Yossarian is looking at history in this context. So in conclusion, for that section, when Yossarian says, "Where are the Snowdens of yesteryear?" he's thinking about, he's wondering, why have we not realized that man is just matter, and we need to preserve the souls that change us from matter to actual human beings? And the answer implicit in the question is, where are the snows of yesteryear? Well, they're gone. They're melted. Their stories have melted, their ideas, their morals, they've all melted, and they're gone. You can't find them anymore. Then, in response to this, I think Colonel Cathcart responds, "What are you talking about? You don't make any sense." And then Yossarian says the same thing in French, and Colonel Cathcart says, I think in French, "I don't speak French," or something. And it's a funny scene, but Colonel Cathcart doesn't understand what Yossarian means by this. What do you mean, where are the Snowdens of yesteryear? He doesn't understand the question, because Colonel Cathcart is a very hawkish, very war-loving, well, not war-loving himself, but he loves to send other people to war, war-loving person. And he wants to send, he doesn't understand, what do you mean, man is just matter? Man is just man, so we can just kill any of them off. It doesn't matter. That's his attitude. He doesn't understand the question. He doesn't understand, why should we save people from death? What do souls mean? He doesn't understand the question. He just wants people to die. And you can see that in his actually understanding Yossarian's French, just not understanding the question. And it's in the scene, and it's funny at first, and then you begin to realize it's a bit grim, like much of the novel. Oh yeah, forgot to say this, but better late than never. This also plays into one of the central themes of the novel, that being recursivity. The title of Catch-22 itself implies this recursivity. It's two twice. Two will happen over and over again. Heller describes things twice. Things happen twice in the novel. There's a soldier that sees twice in the novel, and this is symbolic of that. And Yossarian tries to copy that. Things happen twice over and over again, and this is a symbol in the novel, recursivity. And this recursivity also plays into Snowden. There have been a million Snowdens. There will be another more Snowdens. There will be more war. There will be more death. Why? Because it's implicit to human nature. And we will always forget the trauma that our ancestors faced. And you can see that in the West with the rise of, the loss of cultural trauma of World War II and the effects of that, which I'll have a video about soon. So to summarize that entire thing, when Yossarian asks, where are the Snowdens of yesteryear near the beginning of Catch-22, he's making a reference to a French poem which talks about how all the women of history have died and become nothing. And he's saying, where are the Snowdens of yesteryear? Where are the people who would have taught other people that man is just matter, and we need to protect souls, and we need to have as little death as possible from previous times, from the earlier days of World War II or I, or the War of 1812. Where have those people gone? And the answer, of course, is they've died. Their stories have disappeared, they've gone, they've melted like snow, they've rotted, they've turned to worms. They have lost their manhood or their womanhood, and now they're just matter. And that's the moral of this story. And Cathcart doesn't understand that.